No, let me just say, I'm not going to space. I'm not going to Mars. I want to take care of things here. This is for the record. Thanks for giving me a glass of water as opposed to a bottle of water. I appreciate that. Oh, it's sparkling too. Nice. So this is a picture from Apollo 13. Rarely have I played a real person, so in this case, it was great to, play Jack Swigert. I loved being there with Tom and the late, great Bill Paxton and Ron Howard, and NASA was very on board with this particular movie. And they have a plane called the KC-135, which is also known as the Vomit Comet. And it's an airplane that they use to simulate anti-gravity. And we got to go up in that plane as a training exercise. We were the first civilians that were allowed to, be on this thing. And so we went through this incredibly terrifying and nauseating experience. NASA was giving us these very serious drugs. One was called scopolamine, which was like a crack version of Benadryl. And the other, to balance it out, was a version of speed. And so we would take what was called a scope dex, which was two giant pills in the morning, and we'd see which one would kick in. Either you'd be speeding or you'd be like about to pass out. And then they would balance out, and then you could get through the nausea. It was tough and it was a little scary, but it was super, super fun. It was an amazing experience.
Celebrities like Katy Perry, Gail King are going to space. Would you go to space?
Hell no. No, let me just say, I'm not going to space. I'm not going to Mars. I want to take care of things here. Okay, so this is me on Will and Grace. It's pretty funny, actually. Doing a little dance sequence. It was a funny idea that I was going to be Jack's stalker.
You're my stalker. I prefer the term professional crazed fan.
I've done almost no sitcom experience, and when I did this, I had zero. To come in and see that world, of the way that works and the immediacy that they can think on their feet. And Jimmy Burrows was the director, who's very, very legendary. And then most of the audience is actually watching it on monitors. So they're in the studio, but they're really watching TV. So it's like a little bit of a mind. What can you say instead of fuck? It's like a mind fuck. To this day, people, after all the movies that I've made, people will come up to me, at an airport and say, "You know what I really liked? You on Will and Grace." Oh, me and Matt. This is Wild Things. What's he drinking? A Coors Light. I don't go back and watch movies, but I remember really liking this movie. And I think that the main thing that was hard to communicate with this movie was that we really weren't taking it that seriously. It's a thriller, and it's got a lot of erotic elements to it. But in my mind, it was always supposed to be over the top and, a little bit poking fun at itself.
Matt Dillon said that there was a shower scene that was cut that you, quote, seemed pretty attached to.
There is a shower scene. I think that in the original script, we start making out. Part of what was crazy about the movie was that there were all these twists. And, you go, "Oh, shit, I didn't expect that. Oh, no, you're kidding me." Wow, that was like the hook of the movie. So to me, that was a great twist. That's all. I was like, that'd be an awesome twist. But I don't know, for some reason, it got cut. We didn't shoot it. I don't think we shot it. I think it just got cut.
Okay. Do you agree that you were attached to it?
Yeah. No, I definitely was. Look at him. He's gorgeous. This is just some dumb TikTok thing that Kira and I did, except that, oh, I know what it was. We wore the same outfit. If you can see, those are my jeans.
Do you ever second guess wearing something like this because it's such a nod to Footloose?
Oh, I didn't even think of it as a nod to Footloose, honestly. Although in Footloose, I don't think they made tighter jeans than those. They literally took a bunch of clamps, almost like grip clips, and tightened the jeans you know, all the way up and down the back of them, just as tight as they could get them. That was the look that he was going for. Well, first off, this is a pretty embarrassing look, but this is the first time and the last time that I was invited to the Oscars, which was 1984. Footloose had come out, and I was kind of, you know, an it boy for the moment, and I was asked to come present the award for sound effects editing. And the reason I remember is because I was so fucking nervous that I just went over it and over it and over it and over like all the names like 100 times. And it was like a crazy, crazy weekend because I got flown out there. I think it was my first time ever on a private plane. On the plane was Liza Minnelli. She said, "You have to come to the Oscars with me." And I said, okay. I didn't know how to say no. And so the limousine picked me up, and then we went to pick up Liza. She was really late. And by the time I got to the Oscars, they were flipping out because I was like one of the early presenters. And I finally get there, and I'm standing backstage, and I'm standing next to Cary Grant. I'm looking there, and I'm like, you know, shaking. And he goes, "Are you nervous?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Don't be nervous." He said, "He's nervous, we're all nervous." And he was pointing to Johnny Carson, who was the host. And so I was like, okay, Cary Grant's telling me not to be nervous. All right. I went out and presented the award, I believe, with Daryl Hannum. And as I'm coming off stage, Liza has grabbed Sammy Davis Jr. And Sammy Davis Jr. is going, "Yeah, man, yeah, you did it, you did it." So you can imagine, for a kid from Philly, back then, I was like, wow, this is mind-blowing. Yeah, here I am coming out of the box in the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. I was talked about in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, but the weird thing is that I didn't know about that.
It's called Footloose. And in it, a great hero named Kevin Bacon.
And all of a sudden they're talking about me. And I was like, what? I'm looking around in the movie theater, I'm like, that's... I was completely shocked. What I'm thinking is, well, great, you're talking about me, but how about a gig? You know, I don't get paid for you saying my name. And then eventually, just kind of out of the blue, James Gunn called me up and said, I got this idea for a Christmas special. And sight unseen, obviously, without having read it, I said, I'm in. I love the Guardians, and the opportunity to, you know, to play myself and make fun of myself and not take myself too seriously.
According to the internet, tell me if this is true, you have a problem with Christmas?
I don't like Christmas, no. It's funny because even like Christmas music, I'm just like, wow, God, like November 1st. I'm like, why? I mean, we have to start like ding 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 da da ding 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 da. Oh, and I don't like the whole pressure of the consumptiveness of it, you know, the giving and the getting and I'm kind of a Scrooge. Oh boy, Britney Spears. She doesn't look too happy to be having a picture with me, but I've been in some interesting situations based on this kind of strange life that I've had. But this one was really something that I never would in a million years imagined. Kind of dancing, I guess, and running down the street, and they rigged an outfit that would rip off me, revealing the red catsuit, which is not that easy to do. But it had all monofilament and breakaway pieces, pants. They said, just run down the street and go like this. And it worked. I couldn't believe it. I think it worked for a couple of takes. I don't keep a lot of things, but this is in a drawer somewhere. Hey, thanks for watching, and check out The Bondsman, coming soon to Prime Video.